All right, hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven, thank you so much for joining me, and it's time for our Ride the Wave Tarot series. So if you found this video, it means this video was meant for you in some way, shape, or form. And the Ride the Wave Tarot is talking about emotions. So this is a tarot spread. It's going to deal with emotional events in your life or emotional events that affect your life. All right? So let us begin. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I really appreciate you joining me. And let's see where this wave takes us, right? And here we go. So we have the Moon card reversed. We have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the Hermit. And the Hermit is upright. So immediately I'm feeling that with the Hermit, there's obviously some inner work that has to be done here. Going inside, kind of figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, if you will. And the beginning of this spread with the Moon reversed is that there's some kind of imbalance, perhaps your intuition, you're not trusting it, you're not trusting maybe some messages you are receiving, you feel like you've been misguided possibly by others, and the path or the paths that you have chosen to take haven't really led to anything that is anything of value. So the 10 of Pentacles reversed here is going to signify that the path that you're taking or those paths you have taken in the past are not leading to any kind of reward. You're not receiving anything. You're not gaining the knowledge, the wisdom, the money, the reward that you expected. And I think that you have been misguided. Now, it could be through your own intuition, and that's why it's kind of required to go inside, do the work, make sure you're connecting with your authentic self. And so we can upright this Moon card and you can be on the path of fulfillment. So you can also upright the 10 of Pentacles, which is ultimate gain, reward, wealth. And that could be, knowledge, understanding of the self, right? Now, we're going to go below the surface here and get a little bit more clarification. And here we go. So, going below the surface, we have the 2 of Swords reversed. We have the 9 of Wands upright. And we have the 4 of Wands upright as well. Now, with the 2 of Swords being reversed here, not really a whole lot of choice in the matter for you. So these choices that have been made based on either false information, misleading information, or not really being in touch with your intuitive self, right? Connected to consciousness. The choices that you have made, you didn't really have a choice, actually. So they were paths that were maybe forced upon you, and you've had to suffer for this. So the perception of others looking at you with this 9 of Wands upright is you've had to defend your decisions on making certain claims, taking certain actions, explaining certain emotions here. This is, you've had to push and defend everything here on this path of life. So obviously we're talking about multiple paths and multiple choices you have made in the past, but this has been kind of a brutal battle for you, and you haven't had a lot of support here, and that's actually all you've wanted. All you've wanted was support. All you've wanted was harmony and celebration, and it hasn't really come to fruition because I think that you have been either misled or been kind of out of touch with messages that you have either received, or there's been some kind of blockage with messages and information you're supposed to receive. Now, let's go above the surface and kind of get our view from the top and see what that's all about. Yeah, I definitely think that You've been battle tested. You've been called out as if you're making bad choices, and honestly, I think these are life lessons, and these are trails, choices, thoughts, everything you had to do to, like I said, become your authentic self. And the Hermit is a great card to have on your side, right? Doing that inner work, going inside, figuring out who you really are, how going forward you're going to manifest the knowledge, the true self, elevate your consciousness. And excellent. We have Justice upright, which is amazing. We have the Tower, but the Tower is reversed in this instance. And then we have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is reversed. So you've had a tough time here. And the Ace of Cups, kind of governing the view from the top, the tower window, is that this has been an emotional roller coaster for you. You have not been emotionally balanced. Justice has not been served, if you will, for your emotions. This has been a time for you of upheaval. There's been a lot of things that you could not find stability in, right, with the Tower being reversed. And I think this is emotional stability. So you've been kind of all over the map here, kind of experiencing the whole spectrum of emotion. And it really hasn't been something that was, I don't think you had really a choice in it. I think that you were required to, based on instances, experiences, having to provide, having to, this goes into our daily life, where you have certain relationships that you're trying to develop, that you're trying to maintain, whether they're working relationships or romantic relationships, friendships, relationships with the family, and you just feel like you have been battle tested, and any choice you make and any thought you share with someone else, any communication you have, you're never really coming to a completion here. No one really understands what you're going through, and you're having trouble communicating what you're going through, right? And you're having trouble trusting your own actions and your thoughts. And this has been a rough time. And this is a really rough and trying time for you. But I always go back to this Hermit. It's time to go inside, to dig deep, to figure out who you really are. And let's close this off with a little bit of the black and white. Black and white, I feel like, is there's no gray area here, right, with these cards. It kind of is what it is. It can go one way or the other. Alrighty. So we have the Lovers upright. We have the Seven of Wands upright. And then we have the Eight of Cups. But the Eight of Cups is going to be reversed. So, we talked about defending your position. This is actually the defending your position card. The Seven of Wands. The Eight of Wands is kind of that last final push until you have, the Nine of Wands is that last final push before you have the burden of kind of sharing the information and just really completing that cycle. So you are going to have to defend your actions, your thoughts, the way you handle situations. But this is going to turn around for you. The Lovers here, this doesn't necessarily mean a romantic relationship. The Lovers is all about chemistry. So your chemistry with all your relationships will come together. People will begin to understand you. There's not going to be any walking away. You're not going to lose relationships over this journey you are forced to take. And while you have been misunderstood, while there's been a lot of miscommunication, lack of communication, I think people might have avoided you. All your relationships, while they have been suffering, and you've been suffering as an individual, everything's going to come together. There's going to be a change, and it's because you're going to work on yourself. You're going to figure out what you really want, how you want to react in certain situations, who you really want to be, and how you want to be perceived. And at that point, the Seven of Wands will help you as well. So that's going to be rising above, fighting off, all these other ideas about who you're supposed to be. And you are not going to have to walk away from who you truly are. You're not going to have to really change who you are. You're going to become who you really are supposed to be. And that is all the same person. There's just been some weirdness, some things going on here that you're going to have to go through. And we all go through these. We all process. That's how we level up. That's how we elevate ourselves and raise our consciousness and get to the next step and tackle that new lesson, right? And once again, the Tower card, just going back to this, I'm going to touch on it one more time. The Tower card is reversed. While you haven't had a lot of structure, especially in relationships while you're going through this time, you don't have to burn down the house, if you will. You don't have to tear it all down. The time of this craziness, this chaos is going to come to an end. And the Justice card is signifying that. You're going to have a victory. That sword upright is clarity and victory and balance. You will bring balance back into your emotions, and you're going to upright that Ace of Cups so you can fill that cup and just enjoy a nice glass. All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope the video resonated with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Take care.